Welcome to the Slade Ham Experiment. Hi, everybody. I'm Slade Ham. It's my midnight spaceship. It's lit up today. It's less, how did my friend refer to it? Sith-like. It was very red last week. I am en route to Canada this week. If you're up there in the Great White North, I will take you. Toronto and then Ottawa. Toronto all this week, the 18th through the 23rd. Then the 25th through the 30th, I'm wrapping things up in Ottawa. I'm getting out of the Texas heat, buddy. I'm done. I'm finished. Finito. Whatever the Spanish word is for I'm not doing this anymore. This is inhumane. I don't know where you live right now. I'm sure you're going through a hot spurt. I'm sure it's nice and toasty there. It's never been this hot. It's never been this hot anywhere in the entire world. I know, right? They keep telling us the hottest 6 days in the recorded history. We're in the last 6 days. That trend will probably continue forever. I don't know. You know, it's the world's globe is warming. I can look at numbers and see that number's going up. And you want to talk about what global warming means? I know some. I'm close to some people who know more than me. I try to listen to people who study it. I think we are doing some damage to the environment. It seems to be hotter, but that's not the point of this. The point of this is that right now, because the world may be 2 or 3 degrees warmer over a certain period of time, right? That's climate change. I'm talking about what hasn't changed. What hasn't changed is Texas summers. Since I was a child, I've bitched and moaned about how our ancestors landed here in the first place, but I can't listen to modern day humans defend this. Well, you know, it's only hot until the sun goes down. What are you doing? How are you rationalizing this? It's not that hot in the shade. You know, when the wind blows, it's really not that. Shut up. It is that hot. When my stupid robot voice home thing is telling me, you know, it's 96 outside, but with the heat and the humidity, it feels like 116. We're not in real times. No one should be here. It's cool in the shade. What sort of beaten spouse are you? He only hits me when he's drinking. This Texas heat loves me. No, it doesn't. It's miserable. You have Stockholm Syndrome, and we should all be evacuating this lava pit now. Why are we not up in Calgary? They're having a stampede right now. It's just like rodeo. It's the exact same thing, plus pancakes. How do you get mad at that? We should be up there with them. It's cool outside. I wonder what the temperature is in Calgary right now. Probably not miserable. Hey, Google, what's the temperature in Calgary? She's so slow. She's getting dumber by the day. Like she hears me, and then she'll just blurt this out in a second and just interrupt what I'm doing because she's dumb. Or she didn't hear me. Hey, Google, what's the temperature in Calgary? She's a psychopath. 74 blissful degrees. I know that sounds warm and muggy, and it would be in any other polite society, but we're talking about the hellscape that is Houston, Texas right now, in this muggy, mosquito-infested, cloud-like, saturated environment. It's not a word. My Google's dumb. I'm frustrated by this heat. I'm happy I'm getting out. It's an abusive relationship if you're defending this. Don't make me have to come get you at midnight while he's at work at the plant. And by he, I mean the state of Texas in this savage weather, I swear. There's a lot going on. Entertainment is about to get interesting. I don't know what your favorite things are. Most people don't think about this stuff. They just hear things like writer's strike or actor's strike. Rarely do you hear both strike. I don't know what you're into, but you're about to see a lot more reality TV. The Screen Actors Guild, these are the actors. They announced a strike starting at midnight this past Thursday. Over 160,000 members of the Screen Actors Guild, over 160,000 actors of a caliber enough to join the guild. The strike prohibits This is a lot of stuff, all on-camera work, including acting, singing, stunts, voice acting, as well as off-camera work like dialogue re-recording, promotions such as interviews, appearances, and social media promotion, awards campaigning, and appearances at events like conventions and festivals to promote media are not allowed either. Most of this over better pay, increased contributions of something, and according to this article, and regulation of artificial intelligence. That's the big one. Now, I'm not part of a union. I'm speaking from the sidelines. I'm over here in the bleachers. Because comics don't unite. There you will see no comedy union. It's been bantered about amongst comics, but unification like that will never happen, right? For every comic who says we should be making X, there's another comic who will do it for precisely 0.1x. Comics are scabs right in front of your face. But somehow actors and writers have managed to cobble together a union. Now, I can't speak on too much of this. I got some anecdotal stuff. But I don't understand enough to have a huge opinion. I do know that unions in general seem shady to me. But Hollywood and corporations seem more shady to me. So I don't know who really deserves the most empathy. But don't unions, I don't know how they work, but once you collectively bargain, you're operating as a bigger thing, right? And then doesn't that give you like the ability to basically dictate stuff? Isn't that why we don't let Microsoft and Apple merge, so that things are not so centralized and not one entity can get this kind of power? I don't know. I think in this case, I mean, I'm obviously on the side of the artist, but I don't understand it enough to know. I know that if you look into it, Hollywood is notoriously janky. They write stuff in contracts and legalese, and if you were to see some of the contracts, even I've been given on a nobody level, every contract is written to protect everyone but the artist. Even when we send our own, they get redlined and sent back. We just use our own. We have an in-house legal team. Of course you do. Everything's designed to chisel away a percentage of what the artist makes, of what they have the rights to. It usually dumps everything in the hands of the money men, and that's the argument, right? We should have all the rights because we put up all the money. Yeah, but they did all the artistic stuff. And then the artists are all like, we did all the artistic stuff. We should have all the rights. I'm like, yeah, but you didn't have any risk or skin in the game. Both sides got arguments to be made. But when you look at some of these contracts, my friend Adam, my director friend, who's producing my comedy special coming up August 19th, you should get your tickets. They're at sladeham.com. Adam and I were talking, and he mentioned in a contract he had recently gotten the reference of they have the right to use everything that was recorded in what you sold them, okay, or what they produced that you acted in. But the verbiage in the contract often says something like the right to use your voice, image, and likeness. And that's where this all gets sketchy, because now we're in the realm of, well, you said they could use your likeness. Yeah, but they did a version of me in AI. And go, well, that's what you gave them the rights to. That's where the trickiness gets in. And the legalese, I promise you, is all written with ambiguity to protect the studio, to protect all the people but the artist. So it's a real fight. Also, when it comes to the rights of performers and writers, you got to look at what the future holds. Everything's a two-dimensional conversation about what they can do on film or this or that. But when you strike a licensing deal, like I did with Andy Huggins' special, when you sell something to a network, however all of that goes down, they have the rights to that forever. This is why you hear the Beatles arguing over their library, or Michael Jackson trying to buy stuff, people and stuff and things. Artists trying, Taylor Swift re-recording all her music so that she owns these versions of them. Because someone owns, when you record something, so say I do a comedy special. Have I talked about how ownership goes? When I do my comedy special, if Comedy Central was producing my comedy special, they would own the whole thing. I would certainly be paid for it. I would certainly have some royalties off of it, yada, yada, yada. But they would own it. It would be their property. I would still have all the jokes. I could still go tell them. I could still go do them. But that recording of it, that version of it, that night, that special, that product is not mine. So what happens now down the line when you've signed away all your rights to all this stuff and you thought that was everything that could be made? And then suddenly we're in a world of not just streaming, but virtual reality or recreate. We're going to make a new set with your likeness that you gave us the right to. We're going to do a whole new show. That's where it starts to get muddy, man. And somebody's got to go to the mat. Somebody's got to go sort this out. The problem is, it's too early. I think in a rush to protect themselves, ourselves, whoever, it's probably going to end up screwed up the wrong direction anyway. Because who knows which direction all this is going? We think we know. We think we know what AI is going to do. We think we know how all this is going to influence what we watch, what we do, how things are made, but we don't. I would wait. I would go fight the good fight, and then I would be ready to fight it again once I actually knew what was going on. Only time I've ever been affected by a writer's strike was the 2007-2008 strike that started in November of that year. My comedy club had just closed. And I was off to L.A. full of hopes and dreams and all that, good stuff. And I was moving out there. I was pretty set up. My buddy Joey Diaz was out there. He had me on a couple of things. I knew a lot of folks. A friend of mine was the comedy director for XM Radio. He was out there. A lot of good people. And my buddy Titus, Christopher Titus, had a TV show he was on a show called Big Shots. I think it was him and Dylan McDermott and some others. And one of the things that was going to happen when I got to LA was I was going to have a spot on the writing staff. And I was gonna write while I was out there, and that was gonna pay my bills, and everything was gonna be Hakuna Matata. And by the time I got to LA, the strike was in full force. And then my dad died in early 2008. I came back to Houston. And then I think I'd pretty much decided to stay here by the time the strike ended. So it was an inconvenient strike, Hollywood. This one, I don't know what's going to happen, but if you're expecting a lot of normalcy on your television, let go. You're going to see a lot of reruns. You're going to see a lot of reality TV. You're going to see a lot of unscripted television. And the upside is probably a lot more comedy specials. And that sort of puts me, as a hair, like that is really bugging me right now, just hanging into my eye. It puts me in the driver's seat because you can't get to a comedy special faster than I'm getting one. I'm shooting one literally in under a month. So tickets for that, sladeham.com. Go get your tickets. You're going to really want to be there. We'll see what happens with them. I am do I have it sitting here? I'm not going to go grab it. I'm frustrated by this product. I bought an AeroPress. You know what this is? I've talked about all the different ways to make coffee that there are. And I used to use just a regular coffee maker. And those are dumb. Drip coffee maker, like in your office. And then I switched to a French press. And the French press makes a great cup of coffee. A great cup of coffee. It's the best way to make a cup of coffee. I was doing a Keurig for a while, putting it in the little basket with the filter, running it through. It's all right. And then everyone tells me that the AeroPress is the way to go. I said, what is it? It's a plastic cylinder. And you put coffee, you put a little filter at the bottom, you put coffee in it, you pour hot water in it, you let it steep for a minute, you sludge it around. I go, all right, I don't know how to make coffee. They go, and then you put this plunger on it, and you press down, and it AeroPresses the coffee through the filter, certain micron, 30 micron filter, whatever it is, less than that, I'm sure. And it AeroPresses it down into the cup, and it's supposed to have this good, it's supposed to be the most remarkable cup of coffee you've ever had. And I said, well, the French press is, except it's hard to clean. Otherwise, it's great. And this AeroPress goes on and on and on and on about how good it is, about how good the cup of coffee is, how great it is. And I sucker down and buy one. $40, you tell me it makes the best cup of coffee, I'll roll the dice. It's not bad. I'd rather just pour it and leave it like a pour over and let it just drip down. If I'm being perfectly honest, I can't taste the difference. I drink good coffee. I put good coffee in that thing. It tastes like good coffee, but so do the other ways I make coffee. The only saving grace to this, because it's definitely not the size, I think it makes about 10 ounces. Feels like about 8 ounces. It might be 12 ounces. Point is, it's not enough. I drink coffee out of a big-ass mug. A mug, like a tankard, like a person who drinks coffee. I don't need this dainty, tiny little French pour. Am I in an Italian cafe? What am I doing here? Waiting on you to bake a croissant? Give me my coffee. I want a big cup of coffee. And this thing, you got to pour the first half in, you got to let it drip. And then you got to pour the second half in, and then you got to press it. And if you got arthritis, give it up. That's not going to happen. It's not hard. And the only saving grace is that this thing is the easiest thing I've ever cleaned up in my whole stupid, dumb life. It takes literally I would bet this thing is within 6 seconds, I can clean it well enough to confidently either put it back on a shelf. I would put it in my backpack. That's how confident I am. Unwrapped. Within like 6 seconds of it. It's miraculous how good this thing cleans up. And the fact that is not the number one and only thing they sell this thing on is astounding to me. You should yell it so loudly that I don't hear 10 ounces or 8 ounces or whatever the shot glasses of coffee that you're offering me up. That's what you should do. You should yell it so loud that the whatever inverted maneuver I'm supposed to do, where I turn this boiling cylinder upside down, this cannon shell full of hot boiling coffee liquid. They want you to. They say you could, if you wanted to, put the plunger in and turn it upside down so it steeps longer. It is a trap from Saw. It is a nightmare contraption if you try to do this. I've scalded my hand twice. I'm not a dumb, uncoordinated person. I don't think. I'm certainly not uncoordinated or dumb at the same time. One of me should be able to figure that out, but I've managed to screw it up. And none of it tastes better than just coffee. Am I doing it wrong? Is there an AeroPress expert out there who wants to explain to me just how stupid I am, that if I just maybe you got to turn it 12 degrees or press it with an extra 13 pounds per square inch of pressure? Am I missing something? Did I not do something? I'll happily listen to you. Do I need to dance a jig? Do I have to shake it like a margarita? What is the actual process that I'm missing out on? Do I just need to watch 12 more 2-minute YouTube videos that will explain to me how to make coffee in a forest? Because that's all you're doing, AeroPress. And it's still worth the $40 just in cleanup. I'm not even knocking it. 5 stars out of 5 for what it is and how much it costs and what it does. But if you want it to make a big cup of coffee that you enjoy, go somewhere else. I have too many opinions. I want to go back to I want a percolator. Grandma had a percolator in like the 80s, like a metal Looked like it was made in an actual shack, like hammered old metal cylinder, like vase jug. It had a little thing up top, and you poured coffee in it, and the water boiled and percolate. I don't know. You could never see on the inside. I don't know what witchcraft happened in there. But it was simpler then. I hate being that. It was simpler then, but it was. I want to bring back. We should bring back some old things. You know, like every couple of years we vote in people. Every year we vote in people to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Every year we should vote to bring some stuff back from obscurity. Something should have to be at least 30 years old to be able to be brought back. Could we do that? Could we bring back mix and match Converse? Anybody else ever wear? You wear like one blue Converse on one foot and then one red Converse on the other. You could swap with people and then they'd have the opposite. Or if you had those old, there were Converse boots that rolled all the way up almost to your knees. We don't need to bring those back. Those don't get back. But we should bring back the mix and match. I'll mix and match Converse. Could I mix and match Converse at my special? Would that be stupid? Could we bring back capes? When was the last time you saw a good cape in the wild? Like an 18th century doctor? Or a lawyer or detective? They all seem to wear capes in the 1800s. Walking around London in the fog. London Fog could make the cape. That's that jacket company. Used to wear those jackets as a kid. What were those called? There's a certain type of jacket. Anyway. Capes would be cool, man. Everybody wear their own cape. It would be sanitary. It would keep your clothes from getting dirty. Something to sit on all the time. It would allow women to wear revealing clothing without wearing revealing clothing. Not full-blown Middle Eastern hijab, but I mean like just the cape. The back part. You can still be you all over, but then the cape's the cape, and then the back of the cape, you put your custom sigil or your house symbol or whatever, or just the Gucci logo, or capes would be cool. I would bring back the cape. All right, stuff to think about. We'll see what happens with Hollywood. It's not good for people who like to be entertained, but it's pretty good if you're an entertainer who doesn't, who's not part of a guild or a union or any of that jazz. Here I am. Let's see what happens. Dates are at sladeham.com. Only a handful left before I tape my special. That's August 19th. Match, the Midtown Arts and Theater Center in Houston. One show right now, 7 p.m. That may be different by the time this airs. I would highly advise you to get your tickets if you have not gotten them. I don't want you to miss out. I'm doing another show on the 8th of August, the 8th, the 5th. What day am I doing it? Might be the 5th. I'm going to be in Bastrop at, where am I doing it? Film Alley. I should have looked all this stuff up. But most importantly, Canada right now. You can find me in Toronto this week, Tuesday through Sunday. And then the following Tuesday through Sunday, I'm going to Ottawa. We're going to round this show out. I'm going to figure out the details. I'm going to say hi to some friends. I've missed a lot of you. I'm excited to be up there. No poutine for me this time around, sadly. But the rest of things. I look forward to seeing you all very soon in person and digitally. Thanks for hanging out with me in my festive little midnight spaceship. I am Slade Ham, and this is the Slade Ham Experiment.